Welcome to my free e-course, The 7 Foundations to Living Your Legacy. My name is Tim Seeley, and I will be your guide through each module to help you live a more fulfilled life as you live out your legacy today. In the first module, you were able to understand what character is and how it is lived out with integrity. In this module, we're going to walk through the foundational principle of connected, or how we live in relationship with others. If you haven't done so already, please take a moment and download the workbook. It will help you think through each of the principles and guide you through the exercises for each module. Use it as a tool to help you process through the material to synthesize your thoughts and the actions you desire to take. The rugged individualism of the old Western movies like The Lone Ranger are iconic. The social media world we live in today, with individuals living out their brand and a persona that tries to be unique and individualistic, has also changed how we interact with each other. Despite the tendencies towards individualism, we humans are made to be in relationships with others, to live in community with others. Notice that even the Lone Ranger had Tonto. As a young man, I was just getting started in life. I had grown up in a home that was pretty structured and protective. Getting out on my own was something that I desired and looked forward to, but after I'd tried a few times, I realized that the financial burden was a bit too much. Now, I loved hockey and often spent time in my room with a game pretending to do the play-by-play of a game. Now, that interest led me to go to radio school and become a DJ. Growing up in the Twin Cities of Minnesota and understanding what it was to make it big time in the radio industry required years of experience as well as the right connections. I did have a couple of jobs in the radio business, and being single was able to move where the work was. I had a great opportunity and was able to get a radio station on the air in a town in the southwestern Minnesota. It was a great opportunity. Things went well, and I was enjoying it. The challenge was that being away from home and what I was familiar with. Now, yes, I had people that I talked with and worked with, but no real friends. I was like a fish out of water. I was lonely and didn't feel like I belonged. The organization was going through some financial challenges where I wasn't getting paid, which helped me make the decision to get out of radio and to move back closer to home. I believe many have gone through the same challenges of going off to college or taking a job in a city where you did not have any friends. Now, some people are better at connecting than I am, but no matter what your personality style is, we all need to have connections with others. To help understand our need for connections, we have the world around us as an example. In an article found on scientificamerican.com titled, "Why We Are Wired to Connect," it stated, across many studies of mammals, from the smallest rodents all the way to us humans, the data suggests that we are profoundly shaped by our social environment and that we suffer greatly when our social bonds are threatened or severed. Brene Brown, who is a professor at the University of Houston Graduate School of Social Work, speaking about relatability, says this: "A deep sense of love and belonging is an irresistible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. When those needs are not met, we don't function as we were meant to," unquote. Our connections and interactions with people can directly affect our health. According to an article of the Harvard School of Medicine titled "The Health Benefits of Strong Relationships," having strong relationships, as they say, quote here, helps relieve harmful levels of stress, which can adversely affect coronary arteries, gut function, insulin regulation, and the immune system. Having strong, healthy relationships is good for us, unquote. Being the rugged individualist, as we see, is not the best way to live. In fact, it can be detrimental to our health and can have a negative effect. In the Journal of Health and Social Behavior, authors Deborah Umberson and Jennifer Carras-Montez says that social isolation of otherwise healthy, well-functioning individuals eventually results in psychological and physical disintegration and even death. Isolation wears people down physically and mentally. It's interesting that captors use isolation for prisoners when they want to gain valuable information. It's pretty sobering when you really stop and reflect on that, isn't it? Scientific American continued mentioning the effects on children, When this happens in childhood, it can lead to long-term health and educational problems. Now, I'm not saying we all need to have deep, long-lasting friendships with multiple people, but we should have at least one or two people in our lives like that. While in college, I took a class that used the book The Search to Belong by Joseph Myers. In it, he talks about 4 spaces that we can gain a sense of belonging. I like to think of this as a picture in our relationships as a concentric circle getting tighter and tighter. The broadest category is our public belonging. That would include things like, being a sports fan, say Golden State Warrior fan or another sports team of your choice, or belonging to some organization or club. This connection is common and has a surface type of relationship, but it still might carry a great significance in your life. The next circle is in your social belonging. This might be the local barista or your neighbor who you have watch your house when you're away on vacation. This is a space where you often expose yourself just a little bit. You talk about things like family and maybe even have some things in common or shared experiences. The circle gets tighter where the next closer area is personal belonging. This is your close friends. Now, it could be someone that you don't see very often, but when you get together, it's like time has stood still and you pick up right where you left off. This category of belonging is where you share more about yourself than you would the barista, but not so much where you would feel uncomfortable. The last category of belonging is a relationship that is intimate. Intimate belonging is like a marriage. Now, it doesn't have to be a marriage or relationship, but it's a relationship where you can bare your soul. You can be totally honest and open about your experiences, feelings, and thoughts. These people accept you just the way you are, warts and all, and love you just the same. Whether you are introverted or extroverted, we all need connections. As we saw earlier, it is healthy and good for us. The research speaks for itself that we need to belong. I'm encouraged by the 4 different belonging spaces because we should be involved in each one of those spaces and growing in our connections to grow in this foundational principle of living your legacy. Now it's your turn. Take some time and go through the exercises on the worksheet. Block out about 10 or 20 minutes and answer the questions. Reflection is an important part of living out your legacy. This could be the most profitable and beneficial time of your life. After you've completed the exercises, you may go on to the next module where we will be examining the next foundational principle of competence. Please leave a comment or question below. I would love to hear your feedback on the challenges of living your legacy through your connections and how you plan to apply this second foundational principle to live out your legacy today.